returning to the boxing ring?
Well, after I fight February 24th, I would like to fight in June or July
Okay.
in boxing. Against who? I don't know. I don't know. Um, Whoever they are considering the best at the time. Um, but I want to have two boxing matches and then either have another PFL fight at the end of the year or at the beginning of the next year. So potentially, I want to have 3 to 4 fights this year.
I know two things happened. One where I think, it maybe could be a big fight, the little run-in that you had with Cris Cyborg. But the other, obviously, Alycia Baumgardner is the one that really gets the fans going. I know there's a huge weight difference. I've read that, you've said, hey, come to my weight. I'm not coming down. What's the latest with that potentially happening, a fight between you and her?
Which one, Cyborg or Alycia?
Alycia.
I mean, well, let's just be honest though. Alycia just got off of uh being caught doing PDs. I hate how everybody just sweeping out under the rug. Rather,
So
it
you
was
okay? So
intentionally.
on that, then you don't believe what was presented on her end, then?
It's not that I don't believe that was presented on her end, but we as athletes all have to prove our innocence, and proving your innocence by taking a hair sample or whatever 3 months later is not proving that you weren't on PDs when you fought. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't believe that she's a cheater. But from what the WBC said, they claimed her not guilty because it wasn't put in her body intentionally. So it was an accident. She was unaware. And it's like, okay, but it was still in her system though. That's all I'm saying. Um, and then just move past that. I have no problem with beating Alycia Baumgardner ass. I have no problem doing that. Um, it would have to be at 154. I'm not going to 147. Why? Because I don't have to. That's why. She the one called me out. I didn't call her little ass out. So she want to call out the big dog. Well, come and bite the big dog about a weight class that I fought at, which has been undisputed at 54, undisputed twice at 60, and unified at 168. She can pick either three of those weight classes and she can get wrecked. That's no problem. And then same thing for Cris Cyborg. Um, Old ass. Same thing for her. Same thing for her. She thinks that I'm about to come down to 147 and fight against her. And the answer to her is the same thing. Y'all don't tell me what to do. Y'all don't tell the champ what weight she needs to come to. Y'all want to fight me at 154. Cris Cyborg says she can knock me out at 147. Okay. Well, you should be a little bit stronger at 154. So come knock me out at 154. What's the hold up? I don't think it's a hold up. I think that those fights could be made. You know, crazy thing is I was around camp with Alycia and she was fighting at 130. Alycia was walking around at 134. Now, since this whole PD scandal, now she's walking around at 148 all of a sudden. It was a month out before her fight. She was 134. 4 pounds to go till she got to 130. Now, she's 148. So if you're walking around at 148, why are you scared to come beat me up at 154? It should be easy. It's way easier to gain weight than it's a person to lose weight. And then Cris is saying that I need to go on a diet and do a 10-week camp and lose weight for this and lose weight for 147. At the end of the day, I haven't fought at 140 anything since I was 16 years old. 16. I'm turning 29 next month. I'm not going to no 147 for no, if it's not even any belts on the line. What is it, bragging rights? It's like, I can beat Alycia Baumgardner and Cris Cyborg same damn night. It doesn't matter. But we're gonna do it at 154. Or both of those girls can shut the hell up and watch me be great because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep on being great. People gonna show up to the fights to see me fight. They don't really care about who I fight. It doesn't matter. They know that I'm gonna come and bring the action. It's gonna be it's gonna be a action-packed fight. Somebody's gonna get hurt. That's what you know whenever you see me fight. Um, I really can't wrap my mind around where all these girls all of a sudden, well, I can't say all these girls, but Cris and Baumgardner, all of a sudden, I'm afraid of them. Like, no, I am one of the scariest women in boxing. Knockouts or not. These girls know that when they get in there with me, it's gonna be a long night. I'm gonna kick their ass. I'm gonna embarrass them. I'll make them think like, damn, how did I think I was that good? And then she came in there and made me look like an amateur. It happens every time. Every time. But hey, these girls wanna fight me. Hey, 154, baby. And y'all can all get y'all ass whooped. Every last one of you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. This February 24th date, third MMA fight. Man, how do you feel about it? Because I've been so focused on you boxing, boxing, boxing that like I don't want to say I forgot, but like it just kind of like reminded me like, oh yeah, she does MMA also.
Um, I'm excited and nervous and
Why are you you're nervous, huh? Wow.
yeah, MMA isn't boxing. It's
Mhm.
not boxing. And it's a healthy nervous, I guess. I take winning seriously and knowing that I'm not the most experienced in MMA, it's harder. It's harder than boxing. Like boxing to me is like comes like that. But MMA, it has posed its challenges, but I've been learning a lot, a lot. And I have a great team who has been pushing me. And this camp has been extremely hard. I mean, physically, mentally, it has been very, very, very hard. So, but I've learned a lot, and I know that I'll be better inside the cage than what I was last time. So, I just look forward to actually going out there and showing that.
Yeah, this fight you have is happening February 24th in Saudi Arabia. It is a PFL versus Bellator fight. You're going against Kelsey DeSantis, like I mentioned in your third MMA fight. But this camp, Claressa, how long has the MMA portion of this camp for this fight been for you? Like, how long have you been doing it?
I've been in camp since September.
Oh, no way. Just focusing on MMA?
Yeah,
Oh,
yep.
wow.
My last fight, I lost a split decision. I wasn't happy about in MMA. Um, I mean, I'm not really super hard on myself, with that, because it's like, oh, the fact that I'm just doing it, I should be like, oh, give yourself a pat on the back, at least you're doing it and you lost a split and you're not even
Yeah, but
supposed to be
that's not how you're
finishing
built.
these fights.
That's not how you're
Yeah,
built.
it's not how
I
I'm
know.
built. So
I know you guys. That's not how you guys are. You lose at ping pong, you get mad.
exactly. So for me, it's like, I wanted to really get back into the cage, find me a team who understands my vision and know how big it really is and how realistic it is. And just built from there. And I'm really with a hardcore team. Shout out to Team Mercy. Shout out to team to Coach Joaquin Rodriguez, probably one of the toughest coaches that I work with in MMA. Very, very strict, very, very knowledgeable. Just one of those coaches who is just going to push you to your limits, and that's what I've been dealing with since September.
Yeah, that split decision loss to Abby Montez. A few key areas there. I would imagine you're working on the takedown defense, working on the wrestling, working on the ground control. Do you think those are like the biggest improvements you feel you made coming into this fight, or is there other areas you feel that you made a lot of big
I feel
improvements
like
in?
I feel like my fight against Abigail, I did great getting up. Um, I think that didn't I wasn't really aware of that it was three fights inside the cage, which is the stand up, the ground game, and the cage. Working on the cage. Like I really wasn't aware that it's a fight that goes on there on the cage. I wasn't aware of that. Now that I'm aware of that, we work on all three. And that's where I've gotten stronger at. Working on a cage, of course, working on getting up off the ground and also stopping takedowns. And it's a whole different footwork to boxing. I mean to MMA than it is to boxing. So I've been implementing that footwork, adding it to my offense, and um it makes going for takedowns and things actually difficult. So um that's what I've been working on, and I believe that we'll have it all pieced together by the time February 24th come against Kelsey.
I know you signed a multi-fight deal with the PFL. How many more MMA fights do you want to have?
Do I want to have, or do I have?
I guess both.
um I have 3 more fights after February 24th. And honestly, those fights can go. I can have 2 this year, 2 next year, or 1 a year, or either of these years I can decide, hey, I want to jump in the PFL tournament and have my fights there.
Hmm. But MMA is still a long-term goal for you then.
Yeah, it's something that I've seen, that I know is that I'm able to learn and pick up on anything. And the big picture for me is to be boxing world champion at the same time as being PFL world champion. I believe that is very durable for me. I feel like it's far fetched for sure, but it's not impossible. I have a lot of potential, and all it's going to take is me learning the right things, because the fight is already there. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to fight. I'm going to be athletic. I'm going to be Claressa Shields, the GOAT, right? But the fact that I'm forcing myself to be uncomfortable and learning all this ground stuff, and not like people feel like they do something right one time and they learned it. It's like I'm actually drilling for hours and hours every day on something that I'm not that I know I'm not good at. But I know that with time and experience, you get better at anything that you're putting time into. So I feel like only thing I'm missing to be PFL world champion is the ground game. So that makes my job not that hard, to just know that, okay, boxing, I already have that. And I already have my own eyes in way that I fight, right? But if I get strong on the ground and these girls can't take me down, and I gotta force them to stay up on their feet and fight me, I'm gonna win every time. So I just have to get strong in those areas. And I believe that I can get strong in those areas because every day at practice, I learn something new, and coach is more and more impressed. So he believes in the vision, I believe in the vision, and we're just working toward it.
Yeah, you got to think, if anybody's going up against you in MMA, like the first thing is like we got to get her to the ground. You cannot
Yep,
strike with Claressa. Get her to the ground, position her where she can't move out. So yeah, the more you drill on the ground, the more you drill takedown defense, your wrestling, your submissions. Yeah, it's gonna be more complete, and a lot harder for all these other ladies to go up against
exactly.
you.
And that's what we're doing. And I'm just happy that I'm not scared of hard work. I think that that's what stopped a lot of athletes, is that, MMA is so different. You come over and people think, oh, you want to hit the pads, you want to punch the pads, you want to kick the pads, you want to knee the pads, but you don't want to sprawl. You don't want to fight for the underhooks and fight um for the overhooks and all, and the wizards, and you don't want to frame. You don't want to do all these things. You don't want to wrestle, whether it's on the ground or on a cage. You don't want to do it. And it's just way more explosive than boxing to me.
Wow. I would imagine too, like, I don't know. Would you say it's been like a humbling experience for you because you're at such an elite level in boxing where you're not used to things being difficult in a sense of people getting the better of you in certain situations and stuff, and then you come to this and it's like a completely new field where that is happening to you on a consistent basis. Or I don't know if it is. I don't know if you're handling the ladies in training. Maybe you are, but
You'd be shocked, but there is no ladies. It's all guys.
it's all guys.
Tough guys. Very
Yeah.
tough. And experienced. I would say that I I hope that with me going to MMA, that people will finally realize that I've always been humble. Um, I don't really care about being humble to man, to human. I care about being humble to God. All my accomplishments, I've always said that, God is the reason for the season. Like, God helped me get here. I give him praise after every fight. God blessed me to be a boxer. God blessed me to be on this journey. God let me know you're going to win 2 Olympic gold medals. You're going to turn pro. You're going to fight on TV. You're going to have all these world titles. God already had spoke to me and let me know those things. All I had to do was obey him. And I've obeyed him in many ways that I can't even speak of um aloud, as far as in the thing that I've done that God has told me to do, and I've listened, even though it's things that I didn't want to do, like being nice to people, or forgiving people that hurt me, hurt my feelings, hurt me physically, being able to move forward with my life. Like I really gave my life, you know, um, to God a long, long time ago. So when it comes to like being humble, I was always humble in boxing, but in order, closed mouth don't get fed. So God already let me know that I was different than all these other women in boxing. When I came along, women trash talking was a no-no. You don't do that. It's forbidden, right? It made people look down upon you. But I still had to come into the game and show them this is what I'm bringing to the table. I'm going to sell the fight. I'm going to sell the tickets so you guys can see this is why I'm chosen to do this. But still always making sure I put God on the forefront, letting them people know God blessed me to be here. So I've always been humble. MMA didn't humble me, or being taken down, or almost being submitted, or losing a split decision fight. It didn't humble me. Like when I walked into the MMA gym, and everybody there idolized me, even the guys there, and all the gyms I've been to. Oh my God, you're Claressa Shields. I love you. Da da da. I'm humble enough to say to them, every last one of you in here is probably a better MMA fighter than me. So I bow down to you guys, and I'm willing to learn long as you guys are willing to teach. And I went into every gym that way. I show up on time to practice. I do the drills. I get frustrated. I ask the questions. I grow. I leave frustrated. I come back the next day, you know, and just try to be better. But um, I've been I've been humbled this entire time, and I don't think that there's a such thing as that. Me being humble, like I'm already humble. I go into everything accepting it for what it is. Like, look, you're not great in MMA. I'm great in boxing. The greatest in boxing. I'm not the greatest in MMA yet. Not yet. I still have some work to do.
I love that mindset, that openness, because a lot of people would get so frustrated that they're used to being so good in one area and they're not good in this other area, and they're just like, you know what, I'm not going to do this. Like, it happens all the time
Yeah.
when athletes cross over to those other sports as well. So yeah, that shows that you're very open minded, and your mentality is a bit different. That you're willing to take that new endeavor, even though it's as challenging.